So a while back, I kind of saw this miniature from the Noblars kit, and I started thinking, what if, like, I make this as a Gretchen for 40k, and he's dressed up like a commissar? I don't know, I'm just weird like that. So let's get converting. So I took a spare back part of a Harley Quinn miniature, and I cut off the little back tail or whatever you call it and glued it to the back. Make sure to only cut off what you need because you can still use this back piece. And then I green stuffed around the gaps and made it look like the second guy, the one who's standing on the ground, look like he's like punching his arms through the cloth or whatever. To bring it more into a 40k, I took a plasma pistol from the Kata-chan command squad sprue, and then I just cut off the handle and glued it to the open hand of the second Gretchen. I knew I wanted to have a chain sword, but I didn't really feel like cutting off and pinning the spear he had, so I just kept that. And then I took a chain sword from the new Primaris bike unit and put it on the back of him. And then I green stuffed him a little hat. Get some texture to the base, and let's spray him. So I usually like using white primer because I use a lot of contrast paint. So yeah, and primer lets me have one base coat for everything. So starting off, I use contrast black tempera for the cloth, the metal bits, then Vallejo gunmetal gray for the metal bits and the chainsword, brown sand from Vallejo for the handle of the spear, and I washed it with strong tone. For the plasma coils, I use a Thrumatic blue, which is a contrast paint by Citadel. And then for the top goblin skin, I use Creed Camo, which is a Citadel contrast paint. And then Retributor armor from Citadel for the barrel of the plasma pistol. For the second goblin, I use Fur Brown by Army Painter, because I like to have different skin tones in my orcs. And I use Buff from Vallejo for all the bandages and washed it and the Fur Brown with Army Painter Strong Tone. To give him a desert base, I painted the base with xandri dust and then hit it with Strong Tone because apparently I really like this tone. And then off screen, it was February in Michigan, so it was really cold and it took me a while, so I kind of messed with it off camera. So I also did the shirt of the second goblin with contrast Blood Angels red, and I painted a little logo on the back of the chainsword in white and used some black by Vallejo to paint the handle of the knife and like just make the coat a tad bit darker in some areas, like under the fucking thing. Painted the blades of the chainsword and the knife and the spear with Stormhost silver, and then washed it with dark tone. But yeah, what do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed my painting video and maybe you learned something. And maybe you'll convert something similar to this.